Okay, Chris and Linda. So this is Rich over at Team Toyota Glen Mills. And this is that 2022 4Runner SR5 Premium that you saw last night. Looks a lot cleaner now than it did when you saw it yesterday. Before I dig into it, I'll apologize for any background noise you might hear. We are down here in the detail department, and frankly, I would normally take this outside and do it, but it is so cold out there that it becomes difficult to take a good video. So I'm going to do it in here. I guess I won't really need to talk too much, so I'll give it a very thorough walk around. I'll point out any kind of imperfections that I find in the paint, no matter how minor I find them to be. And then I'll show you the inside as well. Matter of fact, maybe I want to start with the inside actually. Let's kind of, I'll show you the headliner came out great. So let me hop in here. Okay. All the black markings are off. I see almost a residual, I think that's just wetness actually that I'm feeling there, which kind of aligns with what Brian said yesterday. He said that stuff takes a while to dry. The black marking is gone though. Let's kind of go to the back here as I rearrange my body. Okay. So this is all the headliner that was right behind the back seat. There were a lot of markings on there. That all looks cleaned up and good. Okay. Let me climb out of here. Let's walk around to the other side. Sorry, I hope you don't get motion sickness watching this video. All right. Okay, yes. I don't think that they did this. That actually looks like it's something that should come out. I'm going to speak to detail about that. I had written passenger side speaker on the work order that we give them, so we paid for them to clean this, so we need to make sure that that gets cleaned. All right. And now I'll show you the exterior with the paint. I think it was wise to have wanted to see this without all the salt on there. And I'll show you why as I'm going around. Like everything, so far so good here. This looks great. Looks great. There's a minor scratch there. Minor scratch there that it looks like somebody at some time may have put some touch-up paint on to kind of give you some scale as to how big or small it is. That's my index fingernail right there. All right. Now here's something that, this isn't going to buff out either. It's like a little bit of spidering going on the paint here. You can almost kind of see it from a little bit of a distance too. Now I'll get closer to it again. And again, that's not something that'll buff out. So that is there. All right. And you got, actually, yeah, is that something that comes off? Sorry, I know I'm being very nitpicky right now, but I promised I would show you everything. So there's a little mark there. I don't know what to call that because it almost seems raised up from the paint, so I don't want to call it a scratch. It almost kind of, yeah, I think that's actually something that I might be able to buff out of there. All right, let's see the rear. This all looks good here. This is a little expected scratch right next to the hitch right there. And another very minor thin scratch right there. There we go. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. About that long. Okay, let's keep going here. This, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. Yeah, let me try to get the right angle on it. Yeah, there it is. Very, again, light scratching. Very light, but it is there. And then here's where some of those like kind of wispy scratches get a little bit more plentiful, we'll say. There's, saw the one right there, and then kind of right by this door handle. You can see they're all very light, but you know, multiple little scratches. Almost looks like maybe the previous owner had it like out camping or something, and maybe different branches were hitting it. If I were to guess what that's from, of course that's just a guess. This here is almost like the spidering of the paint that we saw on the other side. It's a little bit more prominent though. All right, now right here on the rear driver's side door, again, very minor scratching there. Yeah, a little bit more up here by the door handle. And a little more here and there. This is a little deeper. It looks like, again, the previous owner might have applied a little bit of touch-up paint there so as to keep it from rusting. It did its job as far as rust is concerned. There's no rust there whatsoever, but that's not something that's going to go away either. And then you're going to get more of the same here as far as, you know, minor scratching going on. And just from the pattern of it, like the waviness, it seems to me like they had it camping, like somewhere that like an unpaved road with branches or twigs kind of sticking out. Because that's what it resembles to me anyway. And you know, kind of some more of that same stuff. This I think is a little bit more significant here and then here. Again, there was touch-up paint applied to it. You can see that, but that's not going to buff out either. You know, a little bit more there too. And then let's check out the hood. You can see, and this is actually very normal stuff, especially for any vehicle that's been on the road in Pennsylvania. And you see like little nicks right there. Again, it's been touched up with touch-up paint, so we don't have to worry about the rusting. But, you know, again, that little stuff like that, it's not going to buff out. You know, and little, very, very small nicks. It's just a large collection of them. So none of this exterior stuff is serious by any means. I would say it's less than minor. However, just the sheer collection of them, that's, you know, what if I was a potential buyer, I would just be thinking about more of the collection of those little miniature scratches. There's just a lot of them. So it's not a perfect exterior. I've certainly seen a heck of a lot worse. There's no doubt about that. I mean, personally, I'd be happy to drive this car, but hey, it's not going to be my car, and it's certainly not my money that's being spent on the car. So hopefully this gives you a more holistic view of this vehicle and exactly what you'd be spending your money on. I think we're all in agreement that mechanically and structurally, the car is about as perfect as a pre-owned vehicle can be. But you'll have to decide for yourselves if, you know, stuff like that is something that you can live with. If you can't, I would never hold that against you. Just let me know. Other than that, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, I know I maybe get a little bit nitpicky on this stuff, but you know, I'd rather you know about these scratches before you spend another 2 hours to come down here, you know. Headliner, again, looks great. I do need to get some clarification on that speaker. Now, in fairness to the detail department, they may not be completely finished with this because the vehicle's still in the detail department. So I'm going to get some clarification on that. But the major stuff that you wanted to see addressed, or just you wanted to see in general, I wanted to make sure I showed that to you ASAP. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time so far. I'm happy to help you out any further. You can give me a call or a text anytime. Thank you.